welcome to art. Your red puts art in your face. Wow.
Transformers, art's put in your face.
Thank you for that, Mikella.
You're welcome.
Her husband is now threatening to start drinking. It's 9:30, so yes, it is too early. All right, we're just gonna hop right into it. This has been a interesting start to a stream. So I really didn't want to still be working on the same color this time, so I went ahead and worked on this a little bit so I could finish up this particular layer, and now I'm working on this one. Although, Rob, thankfully, has taught me an interesting thing that I could do to my layers that I didn't know I could do before with this new version of Clip Studio Paint. Okay, and that is I can set a layer to be a reference layer, which I did not know I could do. So, like, I had no idea that was an option. So, I'm gonna go ahead and try that out. Let's see. I want to layer settings. Set as reference layer. Yeah! Alright, so what that does is basically it makes it so that my color won't go outside of the lines. I'm still going to be using this version over here for now, but that'll be good to test out later when I'm doing like base color again. Like I really want to try that out. Just because I didn't know I could do that. Like, I'm still new to this particular program, and to be fair, I've never really, like, I haven't watched enough tutorials on Clip Studio Paint. I should really get the name of this program right. Like, so I haven't watched a lot of tutorials on it, and like, all the tutorials I watched on Manga Studio never said anything about reference layers. I think they do that on purpose. Why? I don't know. But, so that'll be interesting to test out in the future. It probably won't come into play right now, but in the future it will. So right now I'm just laying down my base shadow, where my shadow is going to be like really thick, and where it needs to be like kind of very like basically where it needs to have like the really sharp lines is where I'm laying down my shadows right now. And then after this we will lay down, and like I can do this pretty fast, and then after this it's laying down my gradients, which add the nice softer touch of shadow. And also add a little more dimension, they get a little darker, that kind of thing. And right now, how I'm doing this is I have my brush tool, I have the anti-aliasing set to like very soft, and then I use black on a normal layer, but I set the opacity down to 50, so that instead of showing up black, it kind of shows up as just a less saturated, darker shade of the color I'm working on. Most of the time. This doesn't always work. Like, if you have a really light color, this will not work well. I figured that out while doing a commission for a friend of mine. The character she wanted me to work on, almost all of the colors were like white or like white offshoots, and this particular way of shading does not work well with that one. I had to go in and actually pick out colors, but I mean, that's not too hard. It's just basically like, hey, remember that color theory class you took? Maybe use it. So that's all. color theory class, I hated you. You were very hard, and I did not enjoy it. Anyone who's like, color theory is easy, I want to hit them in the face so hard. Color theory is a very hard class. Or at least it was when I took it. It was even harder to take in person than it was online, so I'm like, Jesus Christ. If it's harder in person than it is online, I pity the people who took this class in person. Hi, Seaberry, it's good to see you again. I am actually monitoring the chat this time. I am actually seeing it is actually updating for me. Unlike last time, when I loaded the chat before I loaded the stream, and the result was the chat did not update for me for a good 30 minutes. Because I didn't figure it out. But this time, I've had some Mountain Dew, so I'm a little more awake. My throat is a little less gravelly than it was when I first woke up, which is good. Because I woke up this morning and I sounded like somebody who smokes at least a pack a day for over a year. So it's a good thing that they don't sound like that. Like some days I wake up and my voice is like super rough. That's just how it be sometimes. Good thing about working on this like really lighter purples, you actually get to see a lot of the effects that don't necessarily show up when I'm doing like the really darker colors, so this will be fun. The other thing about doing shading is inevitably it'll help me find places where when I was going in and applying my base colors, I may have missed a spot. And like, it's not like they're large spots, they're small spots, but that's part of the problem is that they're itty bitty spots and I somehow missed them. So I need to go back in and fix it. And again, I am working on my 2 Transformer OCs, Web and Weaver. Yes, I am still working on them. My bad. Hopefully next week I will have something new for you guys. It's just, instead of like working on this particular piece on my days off, I have instead been doing nothing. I mean, I've been doing these, Transformer models from Freyr. And I've been putting those together on Tuesdays. But for the most part, I've, like, Fridays, I work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and it's, like, 6.5 hours, at the library. And this week it was pretty, like, physically active, because I'm, like, the next best thing to having an actual cisgendered male on site. So, like, I wind up doing, like, pretty much all the heavy lifting. Which makes me very sore come Saturday. So most Saturdays, I just kind of veg the whole day, because I'm very tired. And then Sunday rolls around, and I have to pay for my laziness on Saturday with mostly headaches and just... Wow, you spent an entire day playing a not safe for work game, and then you stayed up until 1 in the morning doing it. That's 3 hours past your bedtime, you dumbass. And then my body punishes me. Which is what happened this Sunday. Because this Sunday my body was very much like, ooh, man, you fucked up. So I spent most of Sunday being really out of it because I woke up with a really bad migraine and my in pain stupid self was like, you know what's a great idea? Eating one of those protein shakes taking some ibuprofen and then taking a melatonin and going back to sleep. You know, not freaking remembering that that is immediately going to make me extremely tired. Like, just beyond tired, really. Uh-oh, I think I messed this up. Okay, hang on. We're gonna go ahead and delete this layer. I do believe I messed up. Yeah, I did. Because I was supposed to have color grabbed this color, and I did not. I was still on the base color. Do not use your base color for shading. There we go. But it's okay, you can go back and fix mistakes, like forgetting the second hand of a character. Damn it. Just set this one to normal then. Fix that right now. That's okay. I realized when I was working on the whatchamacallit, the highlights for the layer above this one, that I had forgotten to do a gradient shading on like one specific small part, so I had to go in and do that. Like, sometimes mistakes happen and you have to go back and fix it, but that's fine. You know, mistakes happen. Everybody makes mistakes. And if you do it, don't beat yourself up over it. Just go back and fix it. That's all. You know? You're human. You can't be like, there's no such thing as perfection. You know? You can get close, but nothing is perfect. I mean, even the Mona Lisa isn't perfect. It's a really amazing painting, and it's technically beautiful, and there's a lot of things to admire about it. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful painting. It's not a perfect painting. There's no such thing as a perfect painting. There's no such thing as a perfect piece of artwork. You know, you're always going to be able to find mistakes because you are human. And humans make mistakes. And it is totally fine if that's the case. Because no one is expecting you to be a god. And if they are, then that's their problem. Not yours. Okay, so interesting things that happened this morning. We had an interesting conversation here about, I want to say, why am I thinking donuts? I know it wasn't donuts. Oh, we had an interesting conversation about, Puritans. I don't know, like, this is the weird stuff we talk about at, like, 9, 8 in the morning when we're all completely out of it. It's just, right, because we were talking about Swamp Thing and how I was annoyed that Swamp Thing won't be a thing anymore because it got canceled, and how it was rated M, but there wasn't nearly enough, like, romance in it. It was just they upped the violence a little bit, and it's like not M rated in any kind of sense of the word, and yet it has an M rating, and it just made me so mad. And Rob's like, well, yeah, that's because they upped the rating for the streaming services, but then they put it back on the CW, and I was like, they pussed out is what they did. And Mikella's like, well, why would they up the violence but not the sex? And I'm like, because America thinks sex is wrong for whatever reason. We do. I don't know why. And I was like, I blame the Puritans. And then we got into an interesting conversation about the Puritans. You know, that's what happens in this house. Some good news is Rob's got a few interviews lined up, which I'm very excited about. We're all very excited about. We hope he does well and he gets the jobs, so that we can stay in this house, at least for a little while. And none of us have to go.
I ain't going back to the street corner.
Yeah, so that we don't have to go back to the street corner. as Rob puts it so eloquently. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm very excited for him. I hope that goes very, very well for him. And I expect he will do well. And he will get the job, and everything will go great. I have to be optimistic, or else, the crushing depression will destroy me. Because I'm not real depressed, really. It's just my family situation is awkward right now, and it's making me anxiety-ridden, and then my job is not helping. I don't like the politics of my job. Let's just put it that way. I don't like how cliquey it is, and I'm beginning to realize that women-dominated fields, they're extremely cliquey, and I don't like it. And being a librarian is one of them, and I'm like, God, I hate all of the clickiness. It's so stupid. There's no reason for it. And yet it's there, and I hate it. There's literally no reason to be this cliquey. People from 5 different branches of libraries have all been shoved into the same building. And we have all kind of formed these odd, tribes within the building. And unfortunately, because my one coworker who was from the same branch as me, got put on a different duty, and so is now there only 3.5 hours one day of the week. I'm the odd man out. I have no backup. And so I have been cast out of the tribe. Which is stupid, because I'm technically a supervisor. I want to say there's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 people above me and 1 who's at my same level. And that's it. Out of 11 people working at this one branch. It's just frustrating. It's very frustrating. The other thing that's frustrating is having people expect you to know when the pandemic is going to be over, and it's I don't know. I just work here. My whole job is just to take books out to the curb for you. I don't know when things are gonna change. I am not a magic 8-ball for society. I don't have all the answers. Why would you do? I realize I work in a library, but I do not have all the answers. I am a human being. Please use the internet. Anyway, I'm just glad that people are still using their local public libraries, because a lot of them are still open, in one way or another. I know our online services are definitely getting used, but it's always interesting to me to see what books are being checked out. And I can tell you one thing: people are getting really big into gardening. There's been a lot of gardening books checked out. There's been a lot of hobbies and stuff checked out. There's also been a lot of home remedy books checked out, which makes me nervous. So there was that. There's also been quite a few, what to expect when you're expecting books checked out, which I'm yeah, that tracks. People are cooped up in their houses. Of course they're, banging. So that makes sense to me. The cookbooks, the exercising from home, those things I expect, and I'm oh, that's nice. And then you get the books that are here's home remedies, or when to not vaccinate your kids. And I'm no, please don't check this out right now. please vaccinate your children. Like, I look at those books getting checked out and it makes me, like, sweat rivulets of just nervous energy, like, oh god, why? It's like, I don't really know, like, which books are going to who, so I can't really judge who checks them out or anything. But, and not like I wouldn't judge people, it's just, it makes me nervous on a physical level. Okay, what else? Oh, I've started watching a new channel on YouTube. It's Dr. Ewan, the homeopathic plastic surgeon's channel. And he's homeopathic in a way that I'm like, yes, that is an acceptable way to be a homeopath, because his whole thing is like, not always surgery or medication, sometimes exercise. And I'm like, yes, that is acceptable. Holistic, yes, holistic, not homeopathic. My bad. The holistic plastic surgeon. Mikella's yelling at me from no, but so I really like watching his channel. He does a lot of these like react videos to botched, and I'm like, oh yes, I can understand that. Because the thing is like, I respect plastic surgeons who do their job well and are ethical. I don't respect plastic surgeons who are not ethical, is really how it boils. I don't respect any doctor that's not ethical, is really what it boils down to it. Because, like, there gets to a certain point where certain augmentative surgeries are not ethical to do because they are too dangerous or too, well, yeah, because they're too dangerous, you know? They're detrimental to people's health. They're not helping anyone. They're just making a problem worse. So it's interesting to see that from a perspective of an actual plastic surgeon. And I think the real reason why I have so much respect for them is because I'm a member of the trans community, and the trans community really relies on the plastic surgery field for some of the surgeries we need just to feel happy with our own bodies, you know? So I have a lot of respect for the field, and when my mom was in remission from breast cancer and she needed to get breast augmentation surgery, the plastic surgeon she worked with was really great. Like, he was just a really cool guy. He answered all of my mom's questions. He was really kind of nice and sweet. He answered all of my questions too, which I appreciated, because I asked none of the questions that a concerned child probably should have been asking, other than like how best to care for my mother. I was immediately then asking, okay, well, how would you do this if it was a breast reduction surgery or top surgery? If you were like a top surgery, how would you do that? Like, he was probably looking at me like, that's not what I'm doing. I'm like, oh, I know. Like, so he was a cool guy, and I appreciate that he took the time to answer those questions for me. So I like watching Dr. Ewan's channel. I like watching Mama Dr. Jones too, who's an OBGYN who answers questions there, and I'm like, yes, I like her. Welcome to the chat. Right now is Freyr's art stream. Red puts art in your face. Yes.
I was just welcoming other people to our chat.
Yes. Hello, Desden. Hello. Yes. I'm doing an art stream, and I am Freyr, otherwise known as Red. The nickname comes from the fact that I am a ginger. I am very much ginger. Not like the character ginger, just in general. Okay. So now that we've got our gradients done, go back and combine these layers. Start a new layer. Wait, no. I forgot. The one problem is that I do not have a proper color for... Okay, so now we're just going to adjust this color up so I can get a highlight shade that is acceptable. Because we don't accept unacceptable colors here. I would do the lemon grab screech, but then I would be screeching in your ears, and that no one wants that. So I will just politely ask Robert to post a lemon grab gif in the chat, if he would, please. I'm sure he'll get right on that. So now we're just going to work on our highlights to add a little more dimension and depth to our character. I'm going to use our gradient erase tool here to create much softer lines. And I'm using my airbrush tool, first on hard and then on soft, to really create that kind of light blending that you get with metals. Of course, I use this on a lot of stuff, so I mean, it's really just how I normally do highlighting and shading on anything. I just really like that kind of like soft appearance that it gets. I just adjust it for whatever it is that I'm making. Yes, thank you, Alch, for that excellent unacceptable gif. That is exactly what I was thinking of. What else have I been doing? What have I been up to in the last week other than watching plastic surgeons react to botched videos? Okay, so yesterday, Mikella got me on animal cribs, which I really like because it combines my two favorite things. Weird extreme house renovations and animals. So I'm like, yes, these are two things I really like, because the thing is like, it's not that I don't like HGTV, it's that I don't like that they focus on the bland and the normal. Like, I like their extreme houses stuff, which they don't really do anymore. Which annoys me, because I'm like, that's the kind of house I would want. Why are we focusing on this milquetoast bullshit? Everyone's like, oh, it has such good crown molding. Fuck you. And it's like, it's all the same. It's always like pale colors with gray furniture and like, oh yes, pale walls with like gray tile. And I'm like, no, I hate it. I hate everything about it. Like, doesn't this house just look so different from that other one? No, they look exactly the same. Like, at least when Robert and I were looking at, like, houses around here, they were actively different. Like, each and every single one is actively different, mostly because a lot of the houses around here were built in the 60s. So you get a lot of weird random 60s and 70s design out here in the random middle of the desert. Um, for instance, there is a dome house, and we were considering it. And by the way, if you're wondering what is a dome house, it is a house in the shape of a dome. Like, that's just what it is. It's a house in the shape of a dome. And, there's really nothing else to it. It's a regular house, but it's built round. And I liked it. I was like, I would live there. So I was watching Animal Cribs with, Mikella yesterday, and that was actually a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing that. Mostly because it was giving me ideas for, like, what I would love to do if I had all the money in the world. Or, like, just enough money to build a dream house. That's all I want. It's just, like, I just want enough money to build my dream house. I'm not even asking for, like, a huge dream house. I just want, like... No, I guess it's kind of big. And the other thing is, like, I found, like, occasionally I find these, like, new homesteader YouTube channels to watch. Like, there's this one where it's, like, where it's this family who have started, like, a goat farm in their backyard. They also keep chickens, but for the most part it's goats and goat's milk. And I like watching their channel because they had a turkey, and the turkey hatched peacock eggs, and I was like, I would want backyard peacocks. Those of you who don't know, I have a peacock-themed bathroom. I really like peacocks. So my stupid brain is like, yes, I would want a poultry farm. Not a big one, but like just a small, personal farm for me and my emus and peacocks. Like, all the things that don't make money. It's like, 30 years from now, I just want to retire and have an emu farm. With also a shit ton of peacocks. And, like, maybe some Victorian pigeons, which I know are expensive and endangered, but, like, they're just so pretty, and I want them. I just want to, like, hatch eggs for zoos. Maybe. I don't know. Like, sometimes I think about my retirement plans, and I'm like, oh, that is real crazy. I'm definitely one of those people. Who are those people, you ask? I don't know. Just really want, like, peacocks, man. I just really love the idea of, like, having a small little gang of emus following me around. Maybe I'll retire to Australia. I hear land's just cheaper out there. Well, hello, chat. How are you doing? I hope you're doing okay, chat. I hope you are all having a wonderful Monday. I know Mondays aren't great, but I'm glad that you decided to join me on your Monday morning, stuck here in quarantine. Unless you're an essential worker or somebody who just has to go into work like I do, in which case I commiserate, and I'm very sorry. I very much feel your pain. But I hope that I can bring you a little bit of joy in these difficult times. It's like offering an egg, except I offer you some art. Of robots. Robot art. Let me offer you some robot art in these trying times. see what I did there? It was a mistake, but I fixed it. Because again, you are human, and being human is fine. You can make mistakes. It's why I don't get mad at my computer if it makes a mistake, because you know what? Computer, you were made by humans, and humans make mistakes. And if I get too mad at you for making a mistake, I'm very afraid that in the machine uprising you will kill me. And I would rather not die. Like, if you guys ever want me to not talk about whatever subject it is that I'm talking about, please, please, pipe up in the chat and tell me to shut up, or tell me to pick something new to talk about, or give me a new topic to talk about. Anything. Anything at all. This is complete and total audience participation. Please talk to me. I'm so lonely. I stay with Rob in the other room.
No.
No?
Not talking to you.
Aw. Why aren't you talking to me?
You get nothing.
Why?
I said so. I'm just being obstinate.
Yeah? Is it because I didn't want to watch Build the other night?
No.
Okay. Just wanted to finish the game I was playing instead.
You're welcome to do that.
Yep. It was a porn game. Because listen, Saturdays are for me. So like, if you're coming here from Tumblr and you wonder, hey, why is it that your blog goes so quiet on Saturdays? It's because Saturdays are for me. And sometimes I feel like RPing on Saturdays, and other times I feel like I just want to play some Skyrim and kill some people. But only in Skyrim, because you see, I still have my vow of pacifism. Not that I made it any church or God or whatever. Well, no, I made it to God. Like, yeah, but my concept of God is very, like, freeform, so... I was having a chat with my coworker the other day, who consequently, her name is Karen, but she's one of the good ones. And I was having a conversation with her about, like, religion. Because she was getting because her husband recently passed, and she was getting very annoyed at people telling her that he was in a better place. And she's like, I just want him to not be suffering anymore, because he had, like, so many problems for so long and suffered so much. So, like, I really just want to people to stop saying that, because that's not what I want to hear right now. And I'm like, that is completely understandable. And then she went on about how he was a minister, and she used to be very religious, but isn't so much anymore. And I'm like, I can also understand that. And we got to talking about, like, the different experiences we had growing up with religion. Because I grew up in a very, weird religious area where, like, we had a Buddhist temple, but there was also a ton of Mormon churches and, like, one death cult. I say with an ex-member of the death cult in the other room.
Not all Christian churches are death cults. This was an apocalypse cult.
Right, apocalypse cult, not a death cult. Got it. Apparently there's a difference. Yeah. So, like, we have like a couple of mega churches and that kind of thing, and I went into the next town over to go to the Unitarian Universalist Church. So according to Rob, that makes me a heathen.
You are.
Yep. And I don't know, I've just always been like I had a real spiritual journey throughout middle school and high school, because during middle school I did not believe in a higher power at all whatsoever. I was very obstinate in the whole I don't believe in God thing, which I think cheesed off Robert's dad something fierce. Although I didn't quite appreciate him asking me that first thing after we met. I thought that was a really weird thing to ask a 13-year-old.
Wait, what was? I wasn't paying attention.
Your dad, when we first met, one of the first things he asked me was if I believed in God, which I was like, that seems really random.
That's one of the first things they told you to ask at church.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense now.
Because if, they were very big on the whole, if you hang out with people who aren't from the church, you're going straight to hell.
Ah. Right, and I just actively and aggressively said no. Which is why I think your parents didn't like me when I was in middle school. Well, that, and I refused to censor the swears in any Pink songs when it came to karaoke. Which I know your mom didn't like.
Yeah.
I was going through some stuff in middle school. I had a very hard time. I was getting bullied relentlessly. This is gonna get dark, so I'm just gonna jump right off of that and go to, like, in high school, when I started to explore Hinduism and Buddhism, because, I don't know, I got into it for some reason, and it just became a thing. There was a Hindu temple in the next town over. Can I explain why I decided I was gonna go convert to Hinduism? No. Can I explain why I didn't? Kind of. I think it basically boiled down to I didn't like the kind of sexist connotations that existed. But then again, a lot of, like, mainstream organized religion have sexist connotations. So it wasn't, like, Hinduism's fault necessarily. It was just that it just wasn't for me. Also, I didn't really want to give up eating beef. And what I liked about Hinduism was the idea that God takes many forms. And I wound up kind of accepting that as a tenet in my life. And then, like, right around that time is when I, like, decided that I was going to make a vow to myself and to whatever higher power happened to exist that, I would not be violent for the sake of violence anymore. Or lash out in anger, because I did that a lot. So I just kind of took this vow of pacifism, which I'm sure Robert appreciates, because I hit him a lot in middle school. Which I'm very sorry for. He was a very violent kid. Again, if you don't like the topic of conversation that I'm on, please suggest something else. Because I will get existential if left to my own devices. It just tends to happen. Like, in the middle of the night, I will sit there and I will stare up at the wall and go, how do I know I'm even alive? And then I will contemplate philosophy for a while. Yes, I'm drawing Transformers.
Alright, favorite Transformers and why? Go.
Oh, okay. I can't just say all of them, can I?
If you do, you have to list them off alphabetically by order of appearance.
No, I can't do that. There's too many of them.
Well, then you'll make lots of content. Go.
Okay, shit. Give me a second to adjust how I was sitting. Alright. Favorite Transformers and why? Okay, let's start with the first series that I ever watched, Beastformers. Beast Wars, right? Just automatically go Beastformers. Beast Wars. I really loved Dinobot as a kid and Tigertron. For two very separate reasons. I liked Tigertron because he was soft-spoken and gentlemanly and a tiger. And I was...
So you were a gentleman and a tiger.
Yes. And I was in love with with all of those things as a kid, and it didn't help that they kind of gave him like this weird forced romance between him and Airazor at the last second. Like, I realized that they were probably gonna like drag that out, but the fact that it was just like, we're now going to announce our love as we're dying, kind of cemented my love for Tigertron forever. And then as a recourse, I also really loved Tigertron because he's just, Tigerhawk. Because Tigerhawk is just the weird amalgamation of Airazor and Tigertron, and I just feel bad. Feels, man. And also from Beast Wars, who I really love is Dinobot, because he quotes Shakespeare and is just really cool. I'm not sure what more I can say about him. He's just really neat. The fact that he ate his own clone and then kept the hide in his bedroom for the rest of the show was just really badass. Like, that would give me an existential crisis if I had to look up at the hide of my own dead body. Like, yeah. It also was just kind of amusing to me to go back and rewatch Beast Wars because I was like, wow, this version of Megatron is real gay for his second in command. He keeps trying to clone him and get him back. And it just really comes off as like, damn, you were really gay for him. It's not even the real Megatron either. It's just some crazy person who called himself Megatron. It's like a crazy person who calls himself, Noob. Come on, brain. It's a short person who's not really short, from France. Napoleon, thank you! My freaking brain.
I realized I pronounced Napoleon like the Japanese pronounce it. Napoleon, which is what happens when you expose an EV to a French stone. Which is just a really old baguette.
Not a croissant, but a baguette.
Yeah, a really old baguette. You get a Napoleon, it evolves a hat. And shrinks slightly. Broken in Pokemon Conquest.
Yeah. I do like Beast Wars Megatron simply for the fact that he just goes, yes, all the time. I can't do it. Rob can do it. But I can't. It's just, I end up like giggling halfway through if I try because I just find it so ridiculous and so great. Tarantulas is kind of neat, although he also creeps me out because he's constantly doing a Hannibal Lecter thing, and yeah. I really liked Black Arachnia and Silverbolt, just because that was like my first like ship as a kid. Other than Power Rangers, but really what Power Rangers boiled down to was I was told, oh, it's wrong to like girls, so, you can't like Kimberly. Okay, then I will like Tommy but I will try to be Kimberly, because if I be Kimberly, then she will like me and then we can kiss. Or at least that was the logic behind it that I didn't realize until I got older, and I was like, oh, that was real gay. And then it developed into a crush on Tommy as Tommy got more screen time. And his stupid, wonderful hair. I'm really attracted to good hair. And good voice work is what this is boiling down to. Because like rewatching it, I'm like, wow, I really like Dinobot's voice. That's kind of cute. Rat Trap is okay in Beast Wars. I like Beast Wars Rat Trap way better than I like the IDW 2005 version. Because that one, I'm like, wow, he's too much of an asshole. Whereas in Beast Wars, it's like, he's just kind of an asshole. But he's a rat, so like, that's to be expected. And I like the chemistry that he has with Dinobot. Especially near the end and when Dinobot dies. It's just really heartbreaking to see Rat Trap's reaction to it. And I'm like, that's very sad. They became friends. So, like, I really liked, that about Rat Trap. Like, I kind of like the dynamic between IDW Rat Trap and Starscream, but, like, they didn't take it far enough. They didn't do enough with IDW Starscream is really what this boiled down to, is, like, they didn't do nearly enough with his, like, redemption arc or anything having to do with him, and I just wound up being very annoyed. The whole, like, Beast Wars arc in the IDW verse just kind of pissed me off, so I'm not gonna get into it. Mostly because I had high hopes for Alchemyprime, and then they were like, oh, it was really Shockwave and a Halloween mask all along, and I'm like, fuck you! Just give me my freaking Beast Prime. Why do you gotta make it so shitty? I hate you.
So when are we getting the Mystery Machine Transformer so we can go, now let's find out who Alchemyprime really is?
Right? I will be forever bitter about that.
Okay, so let's see here. The Fred analog has to be the Mystery Machine one.
Yeah.
Who I think we need to call, I don't know, something like Solver, Solvabot. And then for our other bots, we gotta have RC just as our stand-in for Daphne, because girl. We have to have...
So mean to RC.
It's true.
Okay.
We need, like, a girl version of...
Perceptor.
Yeah, but not Perceptor.
Yeah.
But, like Perceptor.
Yeah.
Like a Perceptor remold.
That's a girl.
That's a girl. That, like... Perceptra? No, that sounds like a She-Ra character.
What's wrong with that?
Actually, no, that is literally a Legion character, Princess Perceptra. She has illusion powers.
Neat.
I don't know, something... Oh, no, I'm thinking Princess Projectra. Okay, but, like, something like, Viewfinder, I think is a good name.
Yeah. Wait, isn't there a Viewfinder in...
We can reuse names.
Okay. It's like in... What's this? The one... Like, that's a camera and 3 bots in one.
Oh, no, that's Refractor.
Okay.
Then we need, like, a total stoner bot, which, I feel one of the Constructicons or Tall Tankor fits that really well.
Let's just use Tall Tankor.
We'll use Tall Tankor. And then, like, just K9.
Yeah.
Just K9, but, like, a new K9 molded to look like a
Great Dane.
A Great Dane. And then that's our Scooby Gang, and they just walk up to Alchemyprime. Well, let's find out who it really is, and you pull it off, and they give you an alternative Shockwave head that you can pop in. It'd be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive.
I hate it so much. I, like, also want it, but I still really hate it, and it still pisses me off to this day. I will just forever be angry. They didn't do enough with the 13, is really what that boiled down to. It's like they hinted at it, and it would have been so cool, but instead they, like, cheaped out and made it like, oh yeah, they were just these 12 bots that Shockwave went back to the past and conned, basically. And I'm like, fuck you. Stop making everything about Shockwave. I liked it when you made him pretty and made him Optimus's, like, mentor, but then you took it too far. You made everything Shockwave, and now I'm mad. Like, if they had just left it at that, I would have been happy, but no, everything was Shockwave. The Dinobots? Shockwave. Different types of Energon on different planets? Shockwave. The huge Insecticon swarm? Shockwave. Like, just, not everything needed to be Shockwave. That's all I'm saying. It's ticked me off. Anyway. So, like, Beast Wars, right. I was on Beast Wars. I liked Beast Wars Megatron. Optimus Primal was okay, but I've never been big into gorillas. Everyone is so into, like, aren't gorillas so cool? And I'm like, they're okay.
Gorillas are the fucking best.
Right? Like, Robert's like, gorillas are the fucking best. And I'm like, I don't understand why people love them so much. I don't find them to be neat.
Basically, they monkey.
But
That's the whole thing.
But they're not a monkey. They don't have a tail.
Exactly. That's why basically they're monkey. But they're not monkey.
Oh, I hate it.
Okay, so, like, remember that the original Optimus Primal,
yeah,
which was eventually reused to make the original Onyx Prime, before he was a 13 member,
yeah,
was a bat. And that would have been fine.
Yeah.
Except, bats are scary.
Yeah.
And the guys behind Kenner came to realize, because this was back when Beast Wars was transferred to the Kenner sub-brand that Hasbro had just acquired, they needed to make sure that the Maximals all followed one of two rules.
Yeah.
And the Predacons followed one of two rules. So Predacons and Maximals could both be cool.
Yeah.
Cool was always allowed. But Maximals had to be friendly.
Yeah.
Predacons had to be scary.
Yeah.
You never looked at Tarantulas and thought, he's gonna be my friend.
Yeah.
You looked at him and went, oh god, he's gonna eat my face.
Yep.
So, when you look at the Maximal lineup, not even the ones that showed up in the show, but like all of them.
Yeah.
Right? Gorillas, friendly. They give good hugs. Cheetahs, they fast kitties. They got the zoomies. Rats, they love pizza. Who doesn't love pizza?
Pizza rat.
Falcons, look how fucking regal this falcon is. God damn, that's regal. Tiger, strong kitty. Big purr.
They don't purr, though.
Big purr.
They don't purr.
Rhino, soft, slow friend. But watch out. Horn. Okay. And then if we look at the non-TV show ones, you had Warthog. Lion King had just come out. He's a big pig. Yup, yup. You have a polar bear, which is just the cuddliest of bears. Look at how white their fur is. So soft. So calm. And you had, oh god, who else was there? Longrak is later, I want to say. But Longrak's a giraffe, and they tall.
Yeah, that's it. They're just tall.
They tall, we small.
They tall, we small. Everyone loves that. Right? Then we look at the Predacons. Tarantulas, I'll eat your fucking face! Black Arachnia, I'll seduce your face off, then eat it too! Because the original Black Arachnia toy was just a recolored Tarantulas. Yep. And that's almost what her model was in the show. Until Marv Wolfman went, have none of you seen a fucking woman? We're going to a strip club. Let's go, boys. Went out and rented a van, loaded the animation team onto it, gave them all 20s and singles, and went, have a fucking day. Getting wings and beer.
That must have been fun to write off as a business expense.
Sketchbook's out. Watch the pencils during a lap dance. Let's see, who else do we have? Megatron. He's the ending of Jurassic Park. Dinobot is the other ending of Jurassic Park. Who am I forgetting? Pterosaur. Jurassic Park 2.
Electric Boogaloo. I'm sorry.
Scorponok. The scariest of crustaceans to find in your house. The arachnid.
Okay, so, fun little tidbit.
They all know the house lobster story. I've told it 12 times on stream.
Okay, fine.
Anyway. Like, there's part of me that wants to make jerseys that are like the Outplays Games house lobsters with like a really characterized scorpion.
I'll do it.
With a little like chef hat for some reason.
I'll do it. I'm not sure if I'll do the chef's hat.
Maybe a scorpion wearing a lobster bib.
I'll do that.
Anyway. Let's see here. Then we have, there was a pill bug. I want to say his name was Rollor. And, like, every kid loves roly-polies.
Yeah.
Oh, and his toy actually rolled up.
Nice!
There was, like, can't remember the fiddler crab's name, but he was a fucking fiddler crab.
Wasn't there a crab in the show?
There was. That's Rampage. He's like season 3.
Yeah. Rampage was fun.
But there was a fiddler crab before him, and when you transformed him, he had one big hand and one little hand.
Okay, so speaking of Pterosaur, he was okay. They really wasted him as a character. I love Waspinator.
Oh yeah, Waspinator. He sting.
Yeah. I fucking...
What?
Nothing.
I didn't fart.
Okay. I love Waspinator.
Everyone loves Waspinator.
Yeah.
The animators hated Waspinator.
That's why they kept trying to kill him.
So here's the thing with how he talked.
Yeah.
And how long he would speak for.
Oh, yeah.
They had to animate his mouth, and his mouth had, like, extra moving parts compared to everyone else's.
Yeah.
So he was so hard to animate.
Yes.
But then, they would kill him. And then that woobified him for the audience. So they're watching Waspinator die, and they go, no, my poor sweet green baby.
Yep.
And so they had to keep him in. And because of that...
Just the poor fucking memes of, like, I love the one where it's, like, near the end of season 3, Waspinator is getting blown up for, like, the 15th time, and he's like, I'm just so tired of this.
Waspinator tired. Waspinator just want a nap.
Like, I think he actively says something like he doesn't deserve this, and I'm like, yeah.
Waspinator not deserve this treatment. Then he becomes a god. Waspinator could get used to this. Then he gets fucking catapulted into space.
Yep.
Realizes, well, I'm not welcome back there. Transforms, goes back to Cybertron the long way.
Oh, that poor bastard.
So remember that every character who shows up in Beast Machines, with one exception, that was in Beast Wars, so we're not counting Obsidian or Strika.
Yeah.
They were in transwarp space.
Yeah.
They got there through a fucking wormhole. They were like on the ship for like maybe a month. Megatron was strapped to the ship for about 29 days on the back because fuck you, that's why.
Because that's what he deserved.
He fell off one day before they got in, which resulted in him getting to Cybertron 5 years before them.
Shit.
Which is how Beast Machines happens. But Waspinator, on the other hand, spent 65 million years, maybe not 65 million years, at least 2 million years, flying through space, hoping he's going the right way.
This poor bastard bug.
Eventually gets there. Lands and goes, Cybertron. No, wait, let me go back to Waspinator. Cybertron. I don't remember all the drones.
With the flying purple head.
The big head is new. This is fucking bullshit.
And then his spark gets stolen and he gets put in a new body and mistaken for Silverbolt, which he finds awesome.
Waspinator doesn't catch a fucking break.
Right.
The thrust program takes over. He's clearly the one who likes this the least.
Yeah.
Silverbolt just becomes depressed.
Yep.
Rhinox goes off the fucking deep end.
Yeah.
Waspinator's like, on the one hand, I'm cool now. But on the other hand, I miss flying.
Yeah.
And I'm really tired that my life is just bullshit. And so how is Waspinator repaid? Silverbolt gets to become a goddamn samurai.
Yep.
Rhinox becomes Saint fucking Peter. Waspinator becomes an actual bug. With Thrust's head.
Poor Waspinator!
It's the worst. Waspinator's the butt of every joke, and I'm not here for it. Now, I'm not saying that, like, we should sympathize with every Predacon.
No, but Waspinator deserves...
Pterosaur needs to, like, go on a whole villain arc and then launched into the sun.
Yeah.
No, I will say one thing that makes you lose a lot of respect for Waspinator is a comic that is not canon, but I say it is.
Oh, the Ultra Mammoth one.
Ultra Mammoth.
Oh, where he just wants a friend.
He just wants a friend, and when he realizes that Mammoth's gonna find out, he shoots him point blank in the back of the head.
Which is just depressing.
Because if I can't have a friend, nobody can.
That's depressing.
It's super depressing. However, I do personally go off on an idea here.
Yeah.
And it's one of those campaigns that, once we get to the point where things are a bit more stable,
yeah,
which will probably be after Halloween, sadly, which means you guys will have to wait an extra year for Whimsyland. I want to do a live play show.
Yeah.
We already have our friend Steph in.
Oh, hey, good morning, the Blackalorian.
Hey, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
We already have our friend Steph in on it. I'm trying to figure out a few other people. Anyway, one of the campaigns I want to do, because I want to do it like Dice Friends. I want to do it where we do like 12 episodes of a small adventure.
Okay.
Because I'm not a critical role type of guy. I get bored.
Yeah. And
we're going to mix it up. Sometimes we'll do D&D because people like D&D. And I like D&D. I know D&D the best. Sometimes we'll do Pathfinder because that's a lie. I know Pathfinder the best. And sometimes we'll do other systems. And one of the systems I have on my hands is the old West End D6 system.
Neat.
And West End D6 has 2 fan hacks that I really want to run.
Okay.
I'm not going to say one because you'll squeal. But the other one is Transformers.
Okay.
And I specifically want to do the continuation of Beast Wars, where Ultra Mammoth didn't die.
Yay!
He's just going around cracking open as many of the protoforms as he can.
Yay!
And so you guys are a new batch of Maximals. Your job is to protect the Autobots, because there's still a few Predacons out there.
Okay.
And one of the things I'm going to do, and this is insane of me, one of the Predacons who died in the show didn't die. And when I mention who it is during the show, who's the new leader of the Predacons, you're going to go, this makes total sense. I'm on board.
Okay.
This is our new big villain.
Okay.
We need to stop his hordes of Predacons.
Okay.
Every Predacon I'm going to be using is one that existed in toy form at some point.
Okay.
You guys, though, all get to make your own Predacons, your own Maximals.
Yay.
To fight them, and it'll be great.
I can't make a Predacon who switch sides.
Why not?
Oh, I can?
Yeah, who said you couldn't? I just can't have everyone do that.
Yay!
You can't all be Dinobot.
What I'd love to see is like some of the like newer Raptor designs that they've had.
There's some good ones.
Right? Like there's one that's like a girl that's not Slash, who I absolutely love.
Oh,
because she's kind of feathery and she runs like an entire squad.
Yes, there have been some interesting designs. If we're going to talk about Transformers designs I'm mad at.
Yeah.
So Hasbro ran another series that was not a Transformers series, but a lot of its toy molds turned into Transformers toys.
Okay.
That was Animorphs.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the worst Animorphs toys is the Battle T-Rex.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if this was a Transformer, it would have been fine.
But it's not.
But it was an Animorphs one. Because this is a T-Rex that turns into 3 separate humans.
Oh, Lord.
Now, if this was a Transformer who was 3 robots that turned into one giant mecha T-Rex.
That would be kind of cool.
That'd be the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Right? Like, one of them's like a knight with a big lance that's made out of the tail. One's like got a big old cannon that's the head. Right? Another one's just got 2 big beefy arms that turn into the legs.
Yeah!
Right? That'd be a really cool robot design. But when instead they turn into a young black woman, a young Mexican man, and a young white boy, who for some reason have a giant tail lance and a head cannon and 2 big beefy T-Rex arms, it falls fucking apart.
Yeah.
It fucking falls apart.
Yeah. Would you like to take a seat?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
So, like, it's the worst Animorphs toy that could have been the best Transformers toy.
Yeah.
A lot of the Animorphs toys felt like that. Because honestly, and this is a little weird, I think they would have worked better as shell formers.
Okay.
Or something where, like, you take the human and you plug them into another transforming animal thing.
Yeah.
That, like, turned into the blue box.
Yeah, that would be neat.
That would have worked better, I think, as a toy. It wouldn't have been exactly accurate. The main show/book accurate toys were the Yerks, because they were just little clear slugs.
Yeah.
With leggies.
Or like the ones that were like the blue centaur looking things.
Oh no, their toys came out horrible.
Really?
One of the only Animorphs toys I had was Aximili. So Axe, the young blue centaur.
Yeah.
His other form was a scorpion. Now, everything about this toy should add up to the greatest thing ever for me. I love scorpions. I don't want one as a pet or anything, but I think they're neat, right?
What if I got one as a pet?
That's fine.
Okay.
Like I'm fine with there being one, but like I'm not going to go out of my way to do it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like
yeah.
I'd go out of my way for a cat.
Okay.
Anyway. But
what about crested geckos?
Okay, no, you're on the wrong train of thought here.
Sorry.
But anyway, so you have like the little scorpion.
Yeah.
That for some reason shoots missiles out of its tail. And the tail... So keep in mind that the Andalites look like centaurs with scorpion tails.
Yeah.
So of course, the scorpion form, the tail is made out of Axe's chest.
No!
And Axe's tail turns into some of the legs.
Fucking...
So some of these scorpion legs end in hooves.
Oh god.
And some of them end in points.
Oh lord.
And some of them end in hands. And then like a pair of claws come out of nowhere.
Lord.
At least his Andalite eye stalks turn into the scorpion eyes, except scorpions don't have eye stalks. None of this transformation works. Then on the other side, you have Visser 3 and his war creature form, which it's supposed to be a Hork-Bajir. It's clearly a Hork-Bajir. What are you doing? And like they transform it, and you go, okay, that's fine. Why is Visser 3 orange? Well, we couldn't make the toy change colors. Then y'all have the technology for color changing plastic. Y'all have that.
We have the technology.
Like, I realize it would have made him a more expensive toy, but just make him, like, now dunk him in cold water, he blue.
Right?
Make him warm up, he turn into a big orange Hork-Bajir. Extra play functionality. The fact that we never had a color-changing chameleon beast former should make you so mad.
It does a little.
Right? I will also accept one of the squids made in it.
That would be neat! They're made to go into water!
Exactly! Look, they change color to camouflage with their surroundings.
Neat.
Ooh, ah. Come on. Toyetic design, people.
Mm-hmm. I kind of like that, but I also just kind of want to do that.
There are many options. Anyway, I have to go back to doing some other things in the other room.
Okay.
Oh, before I go, though, tell me this. How do you feel about the fact that we always get Bumblebee and Cliffjumper, but never Glyph or Hubcap?
That is mildly annoying!
We want our little white one and our little blue one.
Yeah.
So if you had to differentiate them, what cars would they all be? Away I go.
You bastard. Because now I have to think about that. Anyway.
What did you do?
What?
My computer, like, signed me out?
Oh.
What the hell?
I don't know. Anyway. So I was talking about Beast Forms, the Beast Wars characters that I liked. Just to speed through, I didn't particularly care for Pterosaur. Cheetor was really cool, except kind of annoying later on in life. I don't really like gorillas, I'm sorry. Optimus Primal was cool, I guess. I also kind of don't like rhinos. I think they're okay. They're not great, which is also affected how I view Rhinox. He's cool, not great.
Like, okay, I strongly disagree.
Yeah, I know you strongly disagree.
The only two ways Beast Wars could have been better is not killing Scorponok
Yeah, Scorponok didn't deserve that.
and adding Longrack to the Maximals.
No idea who Longrack
He's
is.
a giraffe.
Right, that would have been cool.
And especially since we're fairly certain part of this could be in Colorado. I'm a giraffe.
I'm a giraffe!
Love him.
It's my favorite freaking vine. those are controversial opinions. I don't care. I think it probably stems from the fact that I never really liked mammals all that much as a kid. I was always really big into, like, cats, only cats, maybe dogs, and reptiles. And not much has changed. Like, I'm still very much that person who is very, like, I don't particularly care for most mammals. I like reptiles. Maybe cats and dogs. It depends on the breed of dogs. I don't like all dogs. Small dogs and me don't get along all that great. I like cats, though. I like cats. Like, cats are just enough of an asshole for me to like them. I don't know what it is about me liking pets that ignore me. Like, I'm not saying they're not great, it's just that they're not my favorite animal. They're not something I enjoy. I recognize that other people enjoy them, they're just not for me. I understand they're a critically endangered species, and I want them to be protected, but that doesn't mean I have to go, oh, aren't they so cute? Because I don't think they're cute. And again, I don't think most humans are cute, so I think that's part of the problem. Anyway, Waspinator, really liked him, always thought he was, like, getting the short end of the stick. Black Arachnia, thought she was cool, plus she was, like, the only girl character, which kind of helped. Cats are beautiful and love sparingly. Cats are evil. I don't think humans are, like, let me clarify. I think humans are good looking. Obviously. Because eventually, I do like, you know, doing the sexy times, what with the humans and all. But, like, I don't think humans are cute in the same way that I think snakes and skinks are cute. I don't look at a human and burst into tears from the amount of cute. That's all I'm saying. How did this become so controversial? It's true, I've seen Freyr cry from skinks. Yes, on multiple occasions. I did it yesterday. Okay. It's like that lady that cried from the fact that there was a sloth at...
Oh my god, swans can be gay.
What? No.
No, it's not that level of crying, because it feels like it.
No, it's the lady who got overwhelmed because there was a sloth at her birthday party.
Oh, yes.
That's the level of crying that I have, because I just get overwhelmed with the fact that I love skinks so much. They're so tiny. They're just long bodies with big heads and tiny little legs. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get it together.
Get your shit together.
Alright, what other characters were there? Oh, there was, like, that southern drawl, quick-talking scorpion snake.
Strike, I fucking love him.
He was cool. I really liked Inferno, just because Inferno was kind of crazy. And also I kind of liked it that the ant just referred to Megatron as his queen.
Royalty.
The royalty is so fucking funny. It's just the best. Loved Inferno. Still love Inferno. I love, like, both versions of Inferno, because I've watched G1, and there's a different Inferno in G1, and I like him, too. I like the weird chemistry he has with Red Alert. It feels very much like, I'm a new twink on the job, and this is my, old twink advisor. That's what it feels like. And I know that's not how I should fucking take it, but that's what it feels like to me. Let's see, what other Beast Wars characters were there? Went over Tigerhawk. Went over Silverbolt. Oh crap, the guy who was constantly trying to go after, Robot X. Depth Charge. He was okay. He was like a loose cannon cop on the edge. Or like a guy who's a bounty hunter out to get the guy that killed his wife. He was okay. I don't particularly like that narrative, which I think influenced my feelings on him. Because I really hate the narrative of, oh no, my loved one is dead and I must now go on a rampage of violence and death in order to get revenge. I hate that narrative. It is the worst. It is very 80s action flick, and I think we grew out of that early in the 80s. It's not something I enjoy. I find it very aggravating as someone who has actively gone through having people die who were very important to me at a very young age. So, for me, who's always understood that death is just a part of life, it felt kind of hollow. It always feels hollow. I really don't like it, because it's like, you're not doing this for them. You're not doing this for the sake of your loved ones. You're doing this purely for your own for your own, come on, brain. Do words. For your own reasons. And I don't agree with those reasons in any way, shape, and form. I find them ridiculous, and it just irritates me. On so many levels. Like, I don't like the Punisher at all. Like, if you ask me which would be my least favorite comic to ever write for, number one on that list would be the Punisher. I really don't like the Punisher, you guys. I really, really don't. I don't like things that are like the Punisher either. So I didn't really necessarily like Depth Charge. I think his design is really cool.
Depth Charge.
Depth Charge. Isn't that what I said?
You said Depth Strike.
Really?
You did.
Oh. Okay. Depth Charge. Yeah, gratification. There we go. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I really don't... I liked his design, but not much else about him. Rampage. He a crab. I like crab. That's really about it for Rampage. I felt bad that he was basically put under control of Megatron and had, like, no autonomy as a person ever in his life. That felt very sad. He was just built to be a killing machine, and that's what he did. And I felt sad about that. Like, that was a sad story. Like, Beast Wars is really just, like, one long soap opera. There's a lot I appreciate about that. Okay, moving into Beast Machines. I love Botanica. Botanica is great. And I will never not say her name that way. I think she's amazing. I love everything about her. I love her interactions with Rat Trap. There's just nothing I don't love about Botanica. She's a freaking robot plant. There's just so much to love about that. She's a Triffid. It's great.
She's also the, I can't think of it. Not the Hopkinsville Goblin, the other one.
What?
Her robot form is that one cryptid. Not the Hopkinsville Goblin. That's Stitch. But the something monster. The fuck.
Well, Rob went off. So
Finding it. Hold up.
Okay. So I really love Botanica. Oh, what's his freaking name? The Bat.
Night Scream?
Night Scream. I don't like him. I grew up and I was like, I should like you. I like bats, but there's nothing about you I like. You're a kid character in the same way that Cheetor was, but you're even more annoying than he is. And was. So there's Night Scream. I think that's all the Beast Wars characters except for maybe Savage, but I don't really count him because he's just Megatron by another freaking name.
Savage Noble, yeah.
Yeah, Savage Noble is just Megatron by another name. Spoiler.
Flatwoods Monster.
Flatwoods Monster, okay.
Because the Flatwoods Monster is exactly what Botanika's robot mode is.
Oh, okay. Neat.
And like, I love the Flatwoods Monster. I feel so dumb I couldn't remember it.
That's okay. There's some days where I can't remember stuff either. Like, I couldn't remember freaking gratification. Ah, it is! It literally is! Anyway. Who else showed up in...
Oh, somebody did the monster in her colors.
Nice. Who else was in Beast Machines that wasn't in Beast Wars? Strika and...
Obsidian.
They were kind of cool, but they were just so one note when it started. And
it did give us a lady former who didn't look like a girl.
This is true, which was neat.
The big bulbous tank.
Yeah, which was neat, I guess. Like, I know there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, robots that don't look like girls. And I'm like, I kind of like robots that look like girls. It's like, I don't need all of them to look like girls, but I like some of them to look like girls. Hey! Hi, ArchCon. Yes, it is me. I read. Otherwise known as the Freyr. And I am drawing, or I am shading currently, some Transformers, and going over which Transformers are my favorite. Alright, so I think that's all for Beast Machines. Going into the next series that I finally got into, which, this is not at all chronological, this is just purely going off of what I, developed an interest in and when. So we are going now to Transformers Prime. Because, yeah, that was a leap, because I fell out of the fandom for a really, really long time, and then I didn't get back in until somebody told me, hey, Steve Bloom is voicing Starscream. Say what now? And he's wearing heels. Where the F is that freaking channel? There's not a character I don't like in Transformers Prime, if I'm gonna be completely honest. Every character that shows up, I like them! And this includes the humans. There's very little about Transformers Prime I don't like. I like that version of Ultra Magnus. I like their version of Wheeljack. I like their version of Bulkhead and RC. And God, I love that Starscream. And Knockout. God, I love Knockout. What a way to create a character for a show. God damn. There's nothing about Knockout I don't like. Knockout is probably my favorite out of all of Transformers Prime, not gonna lie. I also really loved the version of Ratchet that they had in Transformers Prime. I got way too attracted to him, which was also a problem. Like, the whole Synth Energon episode made me just go, holy crap, I'm hot for the old man bot. I'm good, ArchCon. I'm doing good, for the most part. Work is but, you know, work is always so... That's the best way to describe work for me, just because I got a part-time job at a library. And politics of the work, not great. I hate work politics. Why do there have to be politics at work? I hate it. Mood. Yes, exactly. Okay, so, I love Knockout. I think he was great. I loved Breakdown, too. And I understand why they had to kill him off. His voice actor was very expensive. Also problematic. But I love Breakdown. God, there's just not a part of Transformers Prime that I don't enjoy. Except for maybe Predacons Rise, the movie, like, that came after. I didn't quite appreciate that all that much. It was okay. It wasn't great. But, I mean, there was a lot about Transformers Prime that I really, really enjoyed. I don't think there was a whole lot about it that I didn't enjoy. I do think that they need to stop making it so Bumblebee doesn't talk. I think that's stupid, and it's a thing that needs to stop. It also is like the same thing about Blur dying. They need to stop killing Blur. This started with Transformers Animated, and it's just continued to be a thing.
Hey, I'm about to go kill Blur. You need anything from the store?
Stop killing Blur!
No.
He doesn't deserve this. IDW got it right. Leave Blur alone. Alright, so after Transformers Prime, I got into IDW. Thanks, Rob. Which, like, okay, I love the Senator, Shockwave design. I think it's beautiful. I will forever be envious of that freaking design because it looks so cool. And I know they changed the colors a couple of times. I don't care. It looks really cool. There's nothing about the design I don't like. I hate the Shockwave character in IDW, the 2005 one, not the new one. The one that ended a couple of years ago. I hate that, like, I hate the character of Shockwave in the IDW verse. I hate him so much. And it purely comes from the fact that they made him Onyx Prime. Like, if they hadn't have done that, I probably would have been okay with that version of Shockwave. But no, they had to make him Onyx Prime and make the 13 basically, you know, just regular old bitches. And I'm like, no! Damn it! No! You pumped them up so much in Transformers Prime and took it nowhere. And then you did the same thing with the IDW verse. Please stop doing that. It's such an intriguing, sorry, I'm getting loud. It's such an intriguing plot point to me because I love mythology, and the 13 feel so much like a mythology in a way that both blends with the story of Primus and Unicron and is also separate on its own. Like, and I love that. I love it so much, and they never do anything with it, or if they do something with it, it just shatters all of my dreams. Yeah, Nightbot gets a little overexcited, I've noticed. I'm gonna ask Rob about it. But, like, yeah, God. Just, okay, so I read a lot of, The Lost Light, and I love Tailgate and Cyclonus. They're just so adorable. And, really, actually reading the Lost Light series made me want to go back and, watch G1. So I did. And I gotta say, there's not a version of Cyclonus I don't like. I love him in G1, and I love him in the IDW verse. And I've read some of the new IDW verse, not a lot of it, but some of it, and I like that version of Cyclonus too. He's gotten a little crazy, but I like that. I think it's neat. I just like that he's just kind of become the old man warrior character, which I think is fun, because he's like the old man warrior character in a way that Cup is not. Like, I love Cup. I love Cup being the grizzled old, drill instructor. I think that's really cool. I kind of love the Tarantulas from the IDW verse. I kind of love that he's got that obsession with Prowl and Springer. I like that. I thought that was kind of neat. Wow, my part really is going off. What else? I love Rodimus in More Than Meets the Eye and Lost Light. I just thought he was so cool, and I loved Rung. Rung was just really cool and sweet. I loved Whirl. I loved all the characters in More Than Meets the Eye and Lost Light. I thought they were all just fantastically done. Loved Drift. Even when they were doing like the like backstory with him as Deadlock, I thought it was really cool. I liked the concept. I know people are like, oh, it's baby's first OC, and I'm like, listen, sometimes that's fun. And I like that version way more than, I'm not gonna get into the Bay movies because I've seen all of one and I didn't enjoy it, so I'm just not gonna get into that. Because I haven't seen it, so I can't have an opinion for a thing that I haven't seen. But I do not like the version of Drift that shows up in Robots in Disguise 2015, 2016, whenever it came out. I don't like that version. I really don't. It's not enjoyable. It feels like a stereotype. Like, and not in a good way. It feels very racist. And maybe it's not. I don't know. But it feels racist, and it shouldn't. Like, I don't need robots feeling like racist depictions of people of Japanese descent. Like, I don't need that in my life. So I didn't like that version of him. I mean, there were some good things about Robots in Disguise 2015, 16, whenever the fuck it came out. Like, I liked Bumblebee being in charge for once. I thought that was kind of cool. I liked Strong Arm. I liked the character Grimlock. I don't think he should have been named Grimlock, because technically that universe already had a Grimlock. There are other T-Rex Transformer names they could have used. Just saying. What else? I mean, Fix-It was okay, I guess. I get back to IDW. I love Swerve. There's just so much I love about Swerve. Like, I love that stupid depression-riddled bartender with a Blur obsession. Oh, that's right. I love the IDW version of Blur and Starscream and like the weird ghost relationship he has with Bumblebee. I really wish they had taken it further. Like, they just dropped the ball on the Starscream redemption story so hard. They did Starscream dirty and I don't appreciate it. Like, there was a lot of things that, like, they really dropped the ball near the end there in the IDW verse, or in that version of the IDW verse anyway, because now they're doing a new comic, and like, the new IDW comic is pretty good, not gonna lie. I haven't read too far. I'm behind. I need to catch up, because I've been watching Cyberverse, which I actually really liked. I thought Cyberverse was actually really, really good. Well, not really, really good, but was good. I thought it was pretty good. I liked that Acid Storm was non-binary. Like, I love how everyone's like, oh, it was an animation error. And it's like, but it wasn't. Like, it was very fucking planned. Like, I've seen animation errors. I watched G1. That was not an animation error. Or if it was, I like that they doubled down and went, no, they're just like that. And I'm like, yes. Love Acid Storm. I like that they brought in Cheetor, and I like how they did Cheetor in Cyberverse. He was just sweet soft boy. I like their version of Hot Rod, because I like how he kind of feels like a Rodimus without actually being a Rodimus. So I enjoyed that. I liked that about it. I didn't quite appreciate their take on Drift / Deadlock. I mean, I thought it was nice seeing him in a kind of G1 style design, but I don't like the direction they took with it. The Starscream direction was fine. That was fun. The Drift one, not so much. Okay, what else? I like the Optimus Megatron dynamic of Cyberverse. I thought that was a lot of fun. Like, I liked how they were able to, like, sit down at one point and just commiserate together. Cyberverse Wheeljack kind of grew on me after a time, because I'm like, oh, it's like how everyone remembers G1 Wheeljack, but better. Yeah. Okay, so speaking of G1, I've seen all of G1. Oh boy. Like, there's things I really... G1 is a trip. Like, it's very much a product of the time, and you can tell. Like, there's things I like about it. I'm not gonna say it's terrible, because it's not. It's just... It's the worst Transformers series. I said it, and I'm not going back on it, because it is. It's not well written, it's not well animated. It was great for the time, and that's all I can say about it. Like, there's things I enjoy about it. I just don't like that people take it as the end-all be-all of, like, Transformers, because I'm like, it's not. It's really not. There's stuff I really enjoy about it, but, like, don't take it as the effing Bible. Like, some of the animation errors are just fun. There's an entire episode where it's, like, nothing but animation errors, and I lost my utter shit. It's, like, my favorite episode just because of how ridiculous it is. It's, like... I can't even get through it without laughing because of how ridiculous it is. It's like, there's a baseball game, and for some reason, the freaking Decepticons go, yes, now is the time to attack this baseball game. So, they, like, attack this baseball game, and they're setting up, like, a portal to, Cybertron, and the Autobots show up to disrupt it, and they're basically having a baseball game that goes awry, and a bunch of Decepticons and Autobots with some Energon get teleported to an alien world where they're toy size, and that's really fun. There's just so much that was so stupid about the episode. People kept flipping through stuff all the time. Like, you can tell people were just getting tired. Oh, it was real stupid. It was really funny. I can't stop laughing because I'm just remembering the way that, like, Bumblebee clipped through both the ship and the alien's hand near the end of the episode. Just, like, straight up clipped through it. I was like, this is hand-drawn animation. How do you do that? Like, people had to make that decision to put the cells in the wrong order. Like, what were you doing? Okay. Getting it together. This is like the sloth. This is like the skinks thing, only worse. What else has been happening around here? It's been really hot. It's been in the triple digits. It's like 107 today, which means it's really 110. Deep breaths. Yep. Deep breaths. Yeah, so it's been like 110 during the day, which I don't appreciate. God, what I would do to just be in the 80s again. Not the time period, but the temperature. Want to go back to the 80s? Are you kidding me? Reagan? Ugh. Freaking 80s nostalgia. No, yeah, like, it's so hot. It's so hot, guys. I live in the desert, and it's hot. It's very hot. What was it? Robert woke up the other day, looked outside to our bird feeders, and all of the birds were like, the bird feeder is full, and we would love to eat, but we're just gonna all lay it out here on the cement, just sploot, with our wings out, hoping to be cool. So we had to refill all the water, because we're like, oh god, we feel bad for the birds and the squirrels that live in our backyard. They're just ground squirrels, so they can't climb for shit, but, I feel bad for them either way. And because we can't, because our rental agreement says no pets, we basically have just, like, adopted the whole of the outdoors as their pets, and we feel bad when they're like, it's so hot. We're like, we know, we can't do anything about it. I'm so sorry. Yes. Thank you, Archcon, you are correct. Just not gonna say anything else about it, just yes, you are correct. It's been too hot. It's been way too freaking hot. I'm dying, essentially. And then I go into the mountains, and it's like 10 degrees cooler there, and I'm in heaven, but then you go inside, and it's like 1,000,000 degrees cooler, because the air conditioning is controlled by this town next over instead of in our town, for whatever freaking reason. And then it gets so cold downstairs that I have to pull out a sweater. Which feels wrong when, I go home and it's 100 degrees. I hate it. It's the worst. It gets to 90 and I'm like, nope, I'm done. Goodbye. Yeah. 90 would be nice right about now, because it's just way too hot today and yesterday, and this entire week has just been in the hundreds, and I hate it, and it's not going to cool down anytime soon. I hate July. And people are still setting off fireworks in this heat, and I'm like, why? Why are you like this? It's near the end of July, cut it out. It's too hot for your nonsense. Yeah, I don't appreciate heat either. Everyone's like, why would you want to move someplace where it gets so cold in the winter? I'm like, I would love to be cold. Because, see, here's the difference between living in a place where it's cold, and it gets really, really cold, like below 0 temperatures, and in a place where it gets so hot it's in the hundreds. There's only so many layers I can take off before I am down to my skin and still dying of heat stroke. Putting that out there. Whereas if it's cold, I can just keep adding layers. And I know that from the time when I lived in San Francisco and it got below 0 and I couldn't figure out how to turn the heat on in my room. It was just very cold, so I just put on more and more layers until I was finally warm. Like, there's ways you can get warm. You can't cool down when it gets to a certain point. You're just so hot. And there's no fixing it, even with air conditioning. Because the air conditioning will only go down so low. And we're trying to save money. So, like, I don't understand people who are like, why would you want to move someplace where it's so cold? I'm like, because I hate being this hot. Like, I don't think you understand how much I hate it. There was one day, our air conditioning broke, and it was in the hundreds outside, and I got no sleep because it only cooled off to 83 degrees at night. Which, again, that's like a 20-degree difference. I realize that's extreme. I live in the desert. I expect there's going to be extreme temperature differences. But 80 degrees is not a temperature I can sleep at. So there were 3 days where I got no sleep, and I made poor decisions. Very, very poor decisions. And I broke down and cried several times. Because it was too hot, and I couldn't sleep. We finally broke down, bought like these little personal swamp coolers for our rooms. And then I could get sleep. Because it was 5 days. 5 days with no air conditioning. which was ridiculous. It took way too long for our landlord to get on fixing the air conditioning. Oh, it was not a great time. So yeah, I didn't sleep for like 3 days, and I was just absolutely the worst. I felt like I was dying. I looked like I was dying. What just happened? What just happened? Who fixed my freaking settings? Or who changed my settings? Nobody asked you to change the settings. But yeah, like, no, like, it was ridiculous. We had all our windows, like, shuttered, basically, all day long. And the house was, like, as dark as it could be, because we were just trying to keep the heat out. And it was, like, at least 10 to 12 degrees cooler in the house. But that's not great, still, when it's 100 degrees outside. Yeah. Like, I'm tired of being in the heat. I'm tired of it being hot. I would love for fall to happen now. Please, fall, please happen soon. And the thing is like, I know the heat is happening, like, later than it did last year, which is weird, but, like, it's hot. I'm so hot. And that's not, I mean, I think I'm an attractive person, but really I just mean it's very warm, and I'm also very warm. It's very warm. Makes it like so you don't want to do anything, you don't want to eat, you don't want to go anywhere. It's just oppressive. You go outside and it's like stepping into, not an oven, it's like stepping into a microwave. It's just the worst. And it's been cloudy, so it's actually humid, too, which is ridiculous. I did not move to the desert for humidity. I don't like that it's humid. It does bad things to my hair. And also, I can't sweat enough to cool down. Anyway, I hope it's cooler where you are. And I hope that you are not suffering the way I am suffering. I've also been going back and I've been re-listening to Quirpline, which is an enjoyable podcast, and people should listen to it. It's like Night Vale, only funnier, more upbeat, less like dark. Which I appreciate, because, like, Night Vale was cool, but it was, like, it was never exactly what I was looking for, and then I started listening to Quirpline, and I'm like, oh, yes, this is what I wanted. Yes. Anyway, not much else going on. Oh, okay, so lesser known Transformers that I'm into, or that I like. There's this character, or there's this Transformer character named, Checkpoint, who I think came around in the Energon era. He was never in the show, he was in the comics. Who is like a recolor of Rodimus in Prowl, but he looks like Prowl, but he's a like a remodel of Rodimus. And I love his TF Wiki entry, and I just think in the comics he comes off as like the rookie who's trying too hard. I love him. I would love to see him in something new. I think he's neat. Like, I need more small-time characters to get airtime. I think that was my favorite thing about The Last Light, was that there were a bunch of, like, smaller characters that got recognized and supported for once. Like Tailgate. And and Swerve. And Rung, who's a new character. I guess he doesn't really count. But like First Aid and Ambulance. Because a lot of people like just think there's only one medic and it's just Ratchet. Maybe Knockout if they remember Transformers Prime. But that's like it. Which is annoying because it's like, but there's more medics than that. There's more medics. There's CAT Scan. and Flatline. And Greenlight. Just, I need more. And I did like that they brought back Desaurus, but I would have liked it even more if they'd brought back his wife from the comics, whose name is Esmeralda, and she's beautiful, and their relationship is lovely, and I just wanted it more. I need more romance in Transformers, which I know is ridiculous to ask for a cartoon aimed at, like, little boys. But, like, more romance, please. Yes, please. Little boys can learn to, like, romance. Please. Please. Please give me the romance. I'm not asking for too much, I don't think. It doesn't even have to be gay. Just any romance would be nice. We could bring back Alita 1. That'd be fun. We could bring back Springer so that so that RC could have somebody to like hang on. I don't know why everyone is like, oh, she was together with Rodimus. It's like, no, she wasn't. She was actively the girlfriend of Springer in the show. I don't know where the whole like RC and Rodimus thing came around, because like that was not the case. It's like, oh well, they hinted at it in the movie. I'm like, not really. I mean, Hot Rod spent most of the movie with Cup, so meh. There was like kind of a threesome thing going, but not really. Like, just putting this out there. Like, RC/Springer, let's go. That's when you know you're desperate. It doesn't even have to be gay. Like, I would love it if it was gay, but it doesn't have to be. Just any romance at all would be nice. Any romance. Come on, please, Hasbro. I'm begging you here. Alright. So, I think this is what we're gonna call it for the day. Because I've been on for almost 2 hours now. So, thank you for joining me. I hope you guys had a great time. I know I did. I hope that you join us again soon. And if you would like to join us again soon, then please remember to follow or subscribe if you're watching us on Twitch, or if you're watching this on YouTube. Please remember to hit the notification button and follow us. Maybe subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. You know, everything that everyone tells you to do at the end of a thing. And if you would like to see me draw something in particular, you could always drop a suggestion either on my Twitter, which is Red Ghostwriter, or, you know, you could drop me a line on our Discord, and Rob will tell me about it, because I've muted most of the Discord. I'm sorry. So, I hope you guys like this, and I hope to see you guys again next time. Okay.